Welcome to Beyond the Box podcast. Today we have a few firsts. We have our first studio audience, and it's also our first podcast on location. So we're here in Laurel and Mike's garage. Laurel and Mike are people that we met through CrossFit, but they are athletes in their own right in the sport of biking. So today we're here to talk to them about how biking fulfills their need for challenges in their daily life.
Fitness, yes. This is Laurel. Everybody say hi to Laurel, and Mike, her husband. Like Kara said, we met through CrossFit, and I started cycling because of you two. So I know where my journey began with cycling. So tell us, how did you get started in cycling, and kind of give us, what really drew you to that love of it? Because I know you both just feel a passion for it.
All right. You go first.
Well, let's see. I've been on a bike all my life. I used to ride my bike to school when I was a kid. When we first got married, we only had one car. I had to ride my bike to work because I worked days, he worked nights, and he wasn't riding his bike at night. I was, sorry.
And this
That's okay.
is,
We'll
this
go
is
ahead
Cooper.
and eat our donuts.
We have a thing.
This is introduce you to Cooper, and real quick, I messed up here.
Oh.
This is Peanut, so make
Peanut.
sure we
She's
get
the
Peanut
queen.
recognized here. That's the queen of the house.
He's
right
the
there.
new dog of the house. So anyway, just out of necessity, fun as a kid, necessity when we first got married. Then we were kind of off the bikes for a while, and then we got back on them, and we realized, we can eat a lot if we ride.
You burn more calories.
Yeah, so.
Kara's enjoying that donut right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I could eat a donut and just wouldn't even feel bad about it.
Yeah.
That's a cool start to it. Mike, how'd you get started cycling?
Well, when I was like 21, my dad, who I kind of reconnected with, he was a cyclist. I went and visited him when I borrowed a bike and rode with him. And he's like, "Hey, you want a bike?" So we went. And he bought me my first road bike. So kind of late in life to be starting an activity, but 21, started doing some road riding, but wasn't real serious about it. It was kind of on and off for years. Laurel and I got married, and we cycled some, and did some events. Then it kind of fell out of everything. At one point in time, I was running and riding bike, but never serious, just for something to do. And then for a number of years, we didn't do anything, so it just got blowed up. And
Because you're eating without the exercise.
Exactly.
Not feeling good, so we made some adjustments, started eating better. At that time we had hybrid bikes, so we just started riding around our neighborhood and going out for a little longer rides. And really I got serious about cycling as I approached being 50, which I wish I would have been serious about it when I was 20. But it is what it is. Yeah.
But it goes back to what we talk about a lot in our podcast. Age is just a number. It depends on what you want to do with it. If you want to sit on the couch, then you're not going to get the healthy benefits of going out and cycling. And
Right.
I would tell you, Mike is our go-to for everything bike related. If our bikes are not active, they got me into cycling, fell in love with the sport. If it wasn't for Mike, though, knowing how to fix my equipment, I'd be probably broke. Because I'm like, Mike, how do I fix this? Mike, the bike is doing this, and Mike's our go-to guy for everything. So you mentioned events. So what drove you to riding events?
No, because it's a fun time. You get to interact with a bunch of other people. So there's a couple of things. There's a benefit to riding in a group, whether it's an event or just a small group. But when you ride with 10, 12, 15 people, you get the benefit of being in the draft and riding, and you get to rotate and share the workload and keep a certain pace as a team. And when you do a big event, you get all these people, all different skill levels. You get to meet new people, get to ride in groups, you see new areas that you don't necessarily ride all the time because you travel to go do an event somewhere else.
So what's the longest that you rode event-wise?
150 miles. It was 75 over 2 days.
Can you say that again? say that number again?
150 is the most that
Cooper,
the
what you
longest
doing?
I've ridden.
Cooper's going down.
Pause. We have to take care of this dog. It's not behaving right now.
So 150 miles.
So we used to ride for an organization for MS 150. So you would sign up, then you would raise money.
Okay,
And
yeah.
it was for multiple sclerosis research. And they did it was 150 miles in 2 days. You would ride 75 out, camp. They would feed you. Not that you had to have tents and everything. Did you ever sleep in a tent?
No,
Because I don't do tents.
So there's a tent involved.
I'm like, I don't think I did that. But anyway.
Cyclists, not campers.
Yeah. So you would sleep overnight and then ride the 75 back, different routes. So it was 150 miles in 2 days.
Awesome.
That's insane.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So kick
That's
out the
over
numbers.
2 days. And 1 day he's
Yeah, kick out the
done-
numbers there, Mike.
Yeah.
Well, 200 in one day.
In one day.
Yeah.
And how many times have you done that?
I've done that twice, and then I've done another ride called Cross Florida. That's 167 miles. That's a one-day event. I've done that 4 times.
Once again,
That's amazing.
Thanks.
So I get
I'm pretty sure I've done like 18.
you were a good 18, I get it.
Yeah.
But
I was
it
going
was on a hybrid bike. It wasn't on
You
a
were
road
working.
bike. So he mentioned drafting, and I remember the first time that you did an event, you came back to me and you were like, "So guess what?
Guess what? We were going 18 miles per hour, and I wasn't even working hard.
It's true. It was an event that I and Lane did.
Yep.
And we just, it's not always easy, like if you're not super used to cycling or you don't cycle fast normally, it's not always easy to latch on and stay on.
Yeah.
You can latch on, but a lot of times these riders are, they're
You get
mostly
dropped.
guys and they ride, 19 to 22 miles an hour, and it's like,
You get dropped. You're
Yeah.
like,
you get
oh,
dropped.
They were there 1 minute.
But
next
we
minute
were
they're
there.
not.
We caught on to this group and we stayed with them. We were so excited.
Yes, all of
we
us
were
like,
like,
we're going.
look how fast we're going. We're not even working.
You were like, this is good.
And it was really cool. And then when we got done, because of that, I think we really had a strong finish because we weren't worn out.
Yeah.
We actually finished with the average of over 16
Good
on that
time
ride,
ride.
which
That's
is really,
It was 50
really
some
good
miles
for
I think,
us.
that time. You remember our very first ride? Me and you
And Stacy.
and Stacy. We did the Tour de Force.
Yeah.
We did the 39 miles.
36.
36 miles.
Yep.
Mike did the
100.
100.
Yeah.
And our only goal during
Was to-
that was to make sure
We
that
finished
he didn't
before-
finish before us.
Yeah, he
Don't let him
finished.
get done with 100 miles before we're getting done with 36. And he came in just shortly after us.
Yeah, like
Aw.
5 minutes.
But we were sitting there resting like we've been there forever.
Oh yeah.
What took you
So,
so
whoa,
long?
yeah, where have you
Is that the one where Laurel cracked a Coke and then had like
No,
super
that was
speed?
we don't realize the secret sauce to riding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're riding, we're working hard. I'm getting tired. We stopped at one of the stations, got a drink, and got a little bit of food, got back on the bikes.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Laurel took off like something was chasing her. I'm like, where is she going and why is she going there that fast? So I'm pedaling. I realized that she had opened a Coca-Cola, drank a Coca-Cola. So from this point forward, anytime I see a small Coca-Cola at a station, I drink it so that Laurel doesn't.
I never drink Coke. I didn't realize it. I mean, I didn't feel like it affected me, but
Oh, she took off. I'm like, where is she going? Wait for me. Hold on.
But let's just do a little sidebar. Then Nikki found out she was riding on a flat.
Oh.
And she's like, no wonder. And we're like, yes, poor thing.
The last, 3 to 5
Yeah,
miles?
she was working
I was
so
struggling. I'm
hard.
like, why am I struggling? I get back and they said, let's ride another mile to make it an even whatever.
Yeah, I wanted to get an even 50, or I don't know
So
what
we
it was,
rode
but-
another mile and they're still like, I'm like, what is going on here? My legs just quit on me, but
Yeah.
it wasn't my legs, my front tire was flat.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's right
Yeah,
on the rim. That's
Different
And it's
friction coefficient than everyone else.
Yeah.
I was pedaling my little tail off and it wasn't.
That's better than when you think you have a flat tire, you're like, yeah, my tires are fine.
Oh,
Just my
I have
legs.
definitely felt like that. I'm like, babe, I think my tire's flat. And he's like, you're fine, babe.
That's great. So we got an event we're going to do coming into
October 22nd.
October 22nd. There's the Champions Ride for Charity.
Yeah.
Takes place in Lake Mary.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I don't know if a lot of people in the area know, that there's so many events that are held throughout the state. that you can get involved in. That's Cooper. And it goes from a family ride that's usually 8 to 10 miles all the way up to
100.
the 100 miles
Yeah.
that Mike's
Yeah.
usually involved in. So there's so much that you can get cycling-wise family.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
right
yeah,
there.
definitely.
And so supplement your cycling. I know you CrossFit.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Yeah.
the kettlebell king.
Kettlebell routine, yeah. Short routine. I do like it's probably about 15 or 20 minute routine, but just enough to like work the core and upper body because I'm doing real upper body work on the bike. But then doing that kind of core upper body training like helps with the cycling because it helps avoid fatigue. Like you got to use your core, kind of hold up the rest of your body and be in position and stuff. So if I'm doing the kettlebell routinely like I should be, then I can feel a difference in my riding because my upper body feels
Just feels
stronger.
stronger.
Lower back stays feeling good. So yeah.
So when you ride, do you have question for both of you? Is it like 2 to 3 days a week you ride, then you rest? What's your routine look like? In your recovery look at? Like I know you both said that your diet has changed,
Yeah.
to something eating healthy food and it's the healthy beer. It's the healthy stuff.
Yeah.
So what is your ride ratio to lifting ratio to resting ratio for your recovery?
Well, I try and ride 3 days a week, not always successful. And recovery is it really just depends on how I feel.
Yeah.
If I feel fine, then I might go out and ride again the next day, or I might come in and do some work here,
Just listening to your body?
Yeah, I just listen to my body, basically.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
How do you feel while you're riding? I think every athlete kind of looks at that differently. Some people are eating. I know we did our GoRuck event. I think we were eating every 20 minutes. We were making sure we were taking some type of
Yeah.
carbs into our
Some
system.
form of gel or
something every
just
20
something,
minutes.
yeah.
We had a very
Jelly
distinct
beans.
plan. Yeah, jelly beans. At what we were going to do, even if we didn't feel hungry. We were
Well, the rule of thumb is for every hour, consume some calories.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, if you're riding harder, you're going to consume a little more. But if you're not riding that hard, you really don't need to.
Yeah.
You can, and here again, you have to listen to your body because I can tell when I'm going to bonk.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need whatever.
She drinks a Coca-Cola and makes us chase us.
Yeah, sometimes I have done that because I always eat before I ride, whether it's toast and peanut butter, something.
Yeah.
I always eat something. And usually that's enough. Maybe halfway I'll stop and eat a swoop waffle or something like that. But there's times where that's just not enough for whatever reason. So I go right to the store. You have apple pie? Great. Coke and peanut butter crackers.
That's the go-to. How about you, Mike? What's your go-to?
Well, some of my stuff's probably not the best habit-wise because like I can ride without eating. So a couple of my rides during the week, I get up real early. I have no desire to eat anything, so I drink a cup of black coffee and hit the road. And I can usually do 30 or 40 miles without any calorie consumption.
That's crazy.
Where's my donut?
Yeah, and then even when I get done, like when I get back, like I'm kind of hyped up from having been active, so I'm not like starving or anything. So it's probably not the ideal because I'm not getting calories that I need when I'm
But do you
active.
feel sluggish though?
Nah.
Your body's
I rarely
okay with it.
feel like bonked or like I need nutrition, but I will like if I'm gonna do a longer ride, I'll make a point of like making myself eat something so I know I have the fuel, and I carry bike food, some gruel or a stroop waffle, and I'll eat one every 40 minutes to an hour.
Yeah. I mean, it just goes to show how different our bodies are. Like a study came out lately that kind of supports what I do and what you do. I mean, it said that men handle things that are kind of like intermittent fasting or working out on fast better than, yeah. So, I mean, it's just one of those things. Like we all have to listen to our own bodies, and as science comes out, a lot of times it supports those natural feelings that we have anyways.
Right.
I think your body changes.
Yeah, it's kind of how I
too.
operate, like just like whatever I feel, other than if I do know I'm going to go long, I'll make myself eat something because I know it's not going to be good to have an empty
Excuse
tank.
me. I will make you something. No. I'm like, what are you going to eat in the morning? Have a plan. Oh, I'm like, all right, so I'll get things out and make it easy.
Yeah.
Here's your bread, here's your peanut butter. Just throw it in the toaster. Something. Because he will go long, and then he does suffer
later.
for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when he's going out and knows he's going to do long, I encourage him to eat. and I make it quite easy.
So what do you do on
Hopefully.
recovery days? Do you have recovery days?
I mean,
Active rest kind of days?
yeah, I walk the dog a lot, so that could be active recovery.
For sure.
You know,
Yeah.
that could be, but I don't really say, oh, today's a recovery day, unless I'm sore or my legs are tired, whatever, you know, then I'm doing nothing today.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Me and Kara both noticed your shirt when we came. I love the bike antidepressant. I
Yes.
think you got to find something that just sends the good juju, you know,
Yeah.
through
Oh, yeah.
your mind.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think we probably saw this in commercial, but we heard this line, shedding the monster. So it's like, a couple of days for me, especially 2 days, 3 days without getting out on the bike. I'm like, I
I'm
gotta
like, please go for a ride.
I
Yeah.
gotta shed the monster.
Yeah.
Send him out for a ride.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is true, because I've gone on my bike and either been upset or mad or whatever, and by the time I get back, I feel better. Those endocrines have
Yeah.
done
Oh,
their
yeah.
job.
Yeah, some of the best rides are like, for me, when I'm riding pretty much beyond my limit. If I'm riding with people who are faster, stronger riders than me, and I gotta put in the whole time. Well, you don't have time to think about everything else. You're not thinking about work. You're not thinking about crap you gotta do at the house. All you're thinking about is I gotta stay in this group. I gotta
Yeah.
manage my body. And
Pay
you
attention
do
to
that
what's
for a couple
happening.
hours, like the
The
world's
rest of it
awesome, a
goes
better
away.
place.
Yeah.
Tell me about, you just did a ride recently in the mountains, Georgia?
6 gap.
6 gap.
Yeah.
6 Gap. Tell us about that event.
6 gap. I've done that one a few times. It's in North Georgia.
It's not for a new rider.
No.
no.
I mean,
Don't
first
let
of
him
all,
fool you.
it's 106 miles. So
Okay.
you got to be able to ride 100 miles on your local terrain and be comfortable with that. Then beyond that, there's really not much you can do to prepare to go ride in the mountains, other than be on your bike consistently, maybe ride in the headwind and ride hard the whole time. That's only because when you get up in the hills, you might spend 45 minutes going uphill.
Up.
So you got to be able
Climbing
to keep that,
for 45
keep that
minutes.
cadence, keep riding, whether you want to
That'd
do
be
it or
about
not.
18 miles, but it is.
I'm like, nope, that is not happening in my
My
life.
heart rate's going up.
Yeah.
But with that said, it's kind of miserable. I mean, I think what's unique to the sport of cycling, especially professionals, is the ability to suffer. And some of these guys actually like to suffer, which is hard to imagine. But to really be a good cyclist, you have to be able to just keep pedaling, keep going, keep putting in the effort, regardless of anything else. It doesn't matter how your legs feel, your lungs feel. Just keep yourself under control and suffer through it. And the best professional cyclists are very proficient at suffering.
Yeah.
And the mountains is similar. There's no fun in pedaling your bike for 45 minutes uphill, other than when
Is
you
it
get to the
downhill?
top, you're like, oh yes, you did it, a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
And then yes, the descending. Oh yeah.
Got the
But it's
down-
so
I
much
mean,
shorter than that.
That's how I am on Grand Avenue. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
We're Floridians. We just saw something do this, and we're like, oh, hill.
Yeah.
Mountain.
So Nikki, I think CrossFit's downhill is that moment at the end of the workout where you get to collapse on the floor.
Just be done.
Because I was trying to think, I'm like, we don't get it downhill, and then I was like, wait,
Wait,
let,
yeah.
let's talk about feelings here.
Yeah.
That's definitely
Yes.
the
We
vibe.
look at the workouts that have the descending rep scheme. That's a little bit of a downhill for us.
Yeah,
It's still
some,
pain,
yeah.
but it's same thing. CrossFit, biking. When you want to have that challenge, then challenge yourself.
Yeah.
You got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Get
Yeah.
into that dark
Yeah.
spot and
Yeah.
knowing it's okay.
Yep.
You can stay
Exactly.
in that dark spot.
You're gonna live. You're
You're
gonna
gonna
get
live.
through
We're gonna be
it.
fine.
Yeah.
1 hour, 4 hours, whatever it takes. You do the event, do the ride, and then
It's that sense of accomplishment. I think when you do anything that that you train for, or you have that desire,
Yeah.
just to do so well. You're just when you're done with it, you
Right.
check. I executed my plan,
Yeah.
and I feel good about it.
And it helps with life as a whole. I know, for myself, overcoming anxiety with a workout has helped me with life. When you get your body used to still being able to move when your body's reacting negatively, it makes those hard situations in normal life easier.
Because there's a point in every workout, cycling, CrossFit, whatever you're doing, that your brain says, "Oh no,
No. and
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
You know, and that's when you kind of go, okay, I'm not going to listen to you. I know I
Yeah.
got a little bit more left, and then you have that,
Yeah.
that great sense of
Yeah.
accomplishment.
And with both you kind of have that community too. I mean, at least with events on those really long days.
Yeah.
And when we
Hey,
ride against
technical
people,
timeout. Your screen blacked out.
Oh, no, we're
Is
good.
it still
We're good.
recording?
Yep,
Okay.
we're good.
it's not recorded, you just can't see yourself right now.
Thank you.
If you think you can get away with something right now, you can't. We can still see you.
Oh my gosh.
We can still see you. My
Yeah,
son-
definitely freaked us out the first time too.
We're like, can they see us? No, can they see us? Yeah, you have different things that happen all the time, like,
Yeah.
what's going on there? So, if somebody want to get into cycling,
Excuse me?
if
What?
somebody want to get into cycling,
Oh.
how would you recommend them get started? Is there somebody that you would recommend that they contact? What would be their first step? Because anybody can cycle.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter, you can get a couple years on you and still, be cycling because it's easy on the joints and
Right.
so where would you
I-
send them to start?
I would say if you are thinking about starting cycling, don't go out and buy an expensive bike right away. First decide if you really like cycling,
Yeah.
but don't get a cheap bike that's going to make it miserable either. So you have to have
I did that.
Yeah.
a balance there, and you could even go to your local bike shop, and say, hey, I'm starting, I don't want to spend a lot of money, I'm not sure I'm going to love it. They'll help you out. Don't go to Walmart
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
So that-
I'll second that motion. Like, you want a decent bike, but you don't want to spend a bunch of money unless you know that you're really committed to it.
Yeah.
So either buy a good used bike or a trade-in or get a good entry-level bike from the shop. But if you buy just like super cheap Walmart bike or something, you're just gonna be unhappy. You be messing with the bike. It's not good.
They
It's not
don't.
good.
They don't. Have
they
a-
don't. Yeah, they don't. They just they're not that great.
So when I first started riding, I had exactly what you're
A
talking about.
Walmart mountain
A
bike.
Walmart
Yes.
mountain bike that I would chase Kara down the road on her hybrid,
Uh-huh.
and Kara's just pedaling,
Yeah.
and I'm behind her just absolutely dying.
Yes, I remember that.
Absolutely.
Totally fine. It wasn't even like the right size bike. Like
Yeah,
it was
she
a
was-
small frame
That's-
borrowed from Nikki and Mai's neighbor
Yep.
at the time.
Yeah.
That's another
But
thing,
like I was
too.
still flying
Still-
compared to Nikki.
Yeah.
It's
You
like
got to
I'm
get the
dying.
right size bike too,
Yeah.
and try to get it set up that it's fitting you properly. And
That's why you want a bike shop, because they're going to help
they're
you
going
with
to
that
help you with
process.
that.
Yeah.
And you can do some of your own research too, as far as okay, how high should my seat be to make my leg extended? Where should my knee and foot be? There's all this.
That's important.
There's all this data about having a good bike position that you can dial it in yourself or get someone to help you. But it's important because when you first start riding, even if your bike's like perfectly set up and fitted to you perfect, you're still gonna be sore. Your butt's still gonna hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
You got to put it in the
More
saddle
than
top.
that.
But yeah, and other unmentionable things.
Other that's one of the things that I couldn't ride for a while, back-to-back days, because my
Sore.
sit bones, I was just
Yeah.
uncomfortable, and then
And there's
These
two
guys-
things there to think
Yes.
about though. One is the bike and the fit and the size. That's got to be as good as you can get it. But then also, even if everything's perfect, you're still going to have saddles. You get saddle sores. Your butt's going to hurt. You're going to be uncomfortable until you're doing it on a somewhat regular basis. If you're riding 2 or 3 days a week regularly, maybe 2 months, you'll be like, all right, I don't feel the seat on my ass anymore.
see, I did something. I took the easy way out. I had my biking shorts, and I found this company called Winx, W-I-N-X. And
Okay.
they said, if you get sore while you ride your bike, you need these shorts here. And they go under your biking shorts with more padding.
Wow.
So
That's like a lot.
that's what you got on 2 pairs of shorts?
I know. I'm like,
yes,
I
I
don't
do.
think I could do
But since
that.
I've done that, though, I have not been sore one time. So that's what I had to do. Even riding 2 or 3 days a week,
Yeah.
I just couldn't ever get saddle ready. So I wear 2 pairs of shorts, and now
Now you're good.
I'm good. Laurel laughed at me, but that was okay. I still
I
felt
don't
good.
think I laughed.
You made a face. You made a face or
I
something.
think I was more like, really?
So we you find
How
a
does
bike.
that work?
Is any organizations that you guys know of that people could get hooked up with if they're just learning riding or just starting riding and want to ride with a group of people? Is anything local that you guys know of?
Well, a couple thoughts there. There's a lot of cycling is really big around here. There's all kinds of people that cycle in all different disciplines. So try to find some local people that you can just ride with regularly, and you can check out the shops and find out about shop rides, or get find out somebody who's maybe new to riding too that you can connect with. And then the events that we mentioned, they're not races; they're for every level of riding. So if you have opportunity to get involved in any of those events, you can do so. And
The Champion's a great race.
Yeah, the
Not
Champion
race, but
is-
great ride because
in this area, there's an organization called CAM, C-A-A-M, and they're the ones who kind of like manage and promote these events that people put together. Most of the events are fundraisers. CAM is like this umbrella. It's like, okay, you can have an event. You can register. Here's what it costs. Here's all the details. So if you check out CAM, you can find different events and sign up for an event. And that's a good thing to do too. Like if you're getting into it and you're like, okay, I'm riding a couple times a week. I'm doing 10, 15 miles of a ride. You're like, well, I want to do something a little bit more. Well, go ahead and sign up for an event and sign yourself up for 30 or 40 or 50 miles. And now you have this goal that you can work towards, train towards, and then do the event. Have that sense of accomplishment and get to that point.
yeah, I think one thing I've rode is CAM events with you
Yeah.
guys. And they've all been very well organized. Another thing that you see in all the events is you have the trucks that drive around in case you have any kind of mechanical problems. They'll help you out. And they give you a phone number before you even get on your bike. If you do have a problem and you break down, you can call and the van will show up and try to help you. So
Yeah.
if you're new to cycling,
They'll
don't
either
change
fix your
tire.
bike or they'll sweep you up. That's what they call you.
Either way,
If
Either
you're
way.
like,
That's
I'm
good.
done. Okay, we will sweep you up.
that's it. All right, that's awesome, guys. We appreciate you guys coming on and talking to us. And
Sure.
if you guys are interested in cycling, there's tons of way to get involved in this area. It's a great
Yeah.
sport for all ages.
Yeah.
Alright.
We'll drop some links in the show notes for you guys if you're interested. If you have any recommendations of any athletes like these two that you would like to see on the podcast, please go ahead, drop us a comment. We'd love to get recommendations from y'all.
Make sure like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.